Hello guys! January pa lamang pero may mga malalaki na ng mga balita and I'm sure you've heard of it. Yung desisyon ng Securities and Exchange Commission sa online news website na Rappler.
Binawag yung registration ng Rappler.
Lumabas na pinaikutan daw ng Rappler ang mga restriction sa konstitusyon.
It's not a question of press freedom.
We're not afraid and we won't be intimidated.
Dito sa Fact or Fake, hindi lang namin kayo tinutulungan na mag-spot ng fake news. We try to help you also make sense of the burning issues. Ayon sa konstitusyon, quote, "The ownership and management of mass media shall be limited to citizens of the Philippines or to corporations, cooperatives, or associations wholly owned and managed by such citizens." End of quote. Sige, simplihan natin ang usapan. 4, yung kailangan nyong tandaan na may mahalagang papel dito sa isyung ito. Ang Office of the Solicitor General ang tumatayong abogado ng Republika ng Pilipinas. Ang Securities and Exchange Commission na nagre-regulate ng mga financial asset at mga kumpanyang nagpaparehistro sa Pilipinas. Ang Omidyar Network na pagmamayari ng eBay founder na si Pierre Omidyar. At ang online news website na Rappler. December 14, 2016 nang ipasilit ni Solicitor General Jose Calida sa Securities and Exchange Commission o SEC ang posibleng paglabag sa konstitusyon ng Rappler dahil sa kanilang Philippine Depositary Receipts na inisyu sa Omidyar Network Fund LLC at NBM Rappler LP. Philippine Depositary what? Ang Philippine Depositary Receipt ay isang financial instrument na pwedeng bilhin ng isang foreign investor sa isang Filipino-owned business. It grants only economic benefits o tubo sa kanilang investment. Kumbaga, passive investor sila, wala dapat say sa kumpanya. Legal na gawain naman yun. Anyari? There are 2 companies here. Rappler Incorporated, ito yung nagpapatakbo ng Rappler the website. Diyan yung mga editor at reporters. Then may Rappler Holdings Corporation. Sino to? Ang Rappler Holdings ang nagmamayari ng halos buong Rappler Incorporated o 98.84% nito. Ang Rappler Holdings Corporation ang nag-issue ng mahigit 7 million PDR sa Omidyar Network Incorporated noong October 2015. Nakita ng SEC na may kakaiba sa PDR. Meron daw probisyon na ang kumpanya o company ay required na humingi ng approval sa mga ON PDR holders sa corporate matters. Dahil dito, binigyan daw ng Rappler ang Omidyar ng karapatan na para lamang sa mga stockholder o may-ari ng kumpanya. Ito yung bawal, sabi ng SEC. Pero sino ngayon ang kumpanyang sinasabi dito? Rappler the website o Rappler Holdings Corporation? Pareho. Sa desisyon ng SEC, sabi nito, alter ego lamang ng Rappler Incorporated ang Rappler Holdings Corporation. In short, sa tingin ng SEC, pareho lamang sila. That's Attorney Armando Pan, Commission Secretary ng SEC. Let's listen to what he has to say.
As the decision states, only Omidyar PDR contains objectionable provision, which is this, requiring the PDR holders consent to the amendments of the Articles of Incorporation and amendments of bylaws, and it includes changing of place of office address, date of meetings, as provided under the Corporation Code.
Ang ibig sabihin yan, kailangang sabihan ng Rappler yung Omidyar Network kung babaguhin nila yung kanilang Articles of Incorporation or bylaws. At iba pang bagay na makakapekto daw sa karapatan ng Omidyar sa hawak nitong PDR. Bueno, ngayon, ito yung sabi ng SEC dyan.
In terms of ownership, Rappler Holdings and Rappler Corporations have no foreign owners. Okay, that is clear. And matters of management, that's where the issue is. So, if the corporation will change its principal business address from one city to another, it has to secure the approval of Omidyar PDR holders. The same thing, if you want to change the date of meetings, annual meetings of stockholders, you have to secure the approval of Omidyar PDR holdings. So, are these not control or management acts?
Ang ganyang klaseng provision daw, senyales na may control yung isang foreign investor sa isang mass media company na dapat ay 100% Filipino-owned or 100% pagmamayari ng mga Pilipino. Kaya ito ang naging desisyon ng SEC dyan.
Quote, the Bank hereby imposes the following administrative penalties. Number 1, the Omidyar PDR is declared void pursuant to Section 71.2 of the SRC for being a fraudulent transaction within the ambit of Section 26.1 of the SRC. Number 2, revocation of certificate of incorporation on each respondent. Rappler Incorporated being the mass media entity that sold control to foreigners, and Rappler Holdings Corporation being its alter ego, existing for no other purpose than to effect a deceptive scheme to circumvent the Constitution. End of quote.
Issue raw ito ng pagsunod sa batas at sa konstitusyon. No less than the President himself denied he has anything to do with the Rappler issue.
And I don't give a if you continue or not continue with your network.
Tumawag pa nga raw siya kay Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
So tinawagan ka ni sir?
Oo,
Bakit?
for the first time.
Why?
Bakit, sir?
Para lang magsabi, hindi totoo yan, wala akong kinalaman dyan sa Rappler na yan, ha?
Okay. Na-interview namin si Presidente in an ambush interview isang araw pagkatapos lumabas ng desisyon ng SEC at hindi na niya naitago ang kanyang emosyon.
You have the money and that yung Rappler mo was being funded by a foreigner. And you had the goal to attack people using foreign money. Bakit ka magbuting? No need to vote. You can influence. Eh kung sabihin mo, I will withdraw my exposure. Oh, saan kayo makuha ng sweldo? Kasi it's not a question of press freedom. It's a question of abuse and protection by the elite of this country to hold the power. It's about time that kayong mga mayaman, kuminto kayo kakaabuso ninyo.
That's a pretty heavy accusation coming from the President himself. So in the interest of fairness, we have here today for this episode, Rappler CEO, journalist, Maria Reza. Ma'am, thank you for giving us the time.
Thanks for having me, Joseph.
All right, so first off, when you heard of the decision, you were expecting it, right? But when they finally announced it,
It's shocking. And then we have to sit and figure out, why didn't they give us a chance to respond? Other companies were given a year to fix any clause to be compliant. We weren't given that. Hahanapan kami ng butas. Kahit na walang butas, hinahanapan ng butas. Diba? So I don't want to go too far, right? Because again, we're in a difficult position because we're journalists. We want to be fair, we want to be balanced, but when these extraordinary measures are being taken against us, we see a deliberate effort to shut Rappler down because of our stories, and that is part of a pattern that is meant to stifle press freedom. It's political in nature. This was instigated by the government, and you've got to ask why.
If they have proof that that's the case, they better present it. It's so unfair to us. We're only doing our job, and without fear or favor, we just come out with whatever the law would require us to do. Now, in this case, of course, whoever didn't get what they wanted from us, maybe they wanted us to say that the PDRs are legal, then they have their own agenda. They'll probably resort to things like that in order to divert people's attention to what was the real issue.
let's go to the definition of control.
Sure.
With specific to ON, the SEC is saying that FYI, yung sasabihin niyo sa Omidyar that you're going to do something is control. Why is that not control from your perspective?
Because they can't change our minds. Anything they do, all they can do is to leave, right? Control would be if, Joseph, I have to tell you, and then if you say no, I have to change. I'm not going to change. Omidyar Network cannot say or do anything that will impact Rappler.
Okay.
It's that simple.
The one is problematic, the one with the Omidyar, right?
Yes.
Why didn't the other PDRs have that provision? Why special to ON?
They negotiate. It's negotiated separately.
Could you have said no to ON and then
again, in the negotiations, these are things we're going to address and we'll show. But the point is, regardless of the millions of things we could have done, if you look at it, does it give control? It doesn't. Because in the end, the spirit of that law, particularly in mass media, is whether they can tell us what to do as journalists. Now, the government can choose to interpret it in very, very liberal ways, which we will challenge in court.
Sabi ni Presidente, ma'am, he said na it doesn't have to vote, it doesn't have to exercise the control. The mere fact that they want to get out, that's going to cripple your company.
That's actually a clause in every single investment. You know, if it's not going to cripple my company. The other part is, let's talk about how much, right? In the end, Rappler is majority. I mean, the majority owners are the journalists. 34% of Rappler are journalists, are shares, and then the Filipinos own it. Omidyar Network has, in terms of PDRs, it has 5.5%. And then to say that based on that 5.5% that gives no control, that only gives economic benefits, that you're going to take away, you're going to disenfranchise the Filipino owners of Rappler.
On the other side of the fence, binigyan naman daw ng sapat na pagkakataon ng Rappler na sumagot sa mga issue.
May mga submission nga sila eh. May started July 8. May show cause order. Nag-request ng extension due to personal emergency. Tapos nag-file na sila ng verified explanation. Tapos nag-subpoena kami. Production of documents. Nag-file naman sila. Tapos, they filed a verified compliance. So, yan, mahaba yung sinabit nila. So, they were given a chance.
Ang isyong yan umani ng maraming reaksyon. Ang National Union of Journalists of the Philippines, Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism, Philippine Press Institute, nagpahayag sila ng pagsuporta sa Rappler. May mga nagsasabi rin na hindi sila sang-ayon sa desisyon na yan ng SEC at tingin nila harsh daw yan. May mga editorials din from international news organizations like the New York Times at Wall Street Journal. Sabi ng New York Times, patikim pa lamang daw ito ng pag-atake ng Pangulo sa kanyang mga media critic. Pero meron din namang iba ang pananaw. Ayon sa National Press Club o NPC, quote, to say that the fate of one media entity found to have run afoul with the law translates to media repression is stretching the argument. Responsible journalism also means complying with the law. End of quote. Hindi pa final na nag-secretary ang desisyon na yan ng SEC. Meron silang hanggang January 27 para mag-file ng appeal sa Court of Appeals. Samantala, inutos na ni Department of Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre II na imbestigahan ng Rappler para sa mga posibleng paglabag sa batas nito. Ang sabi mismo ng SEC, magsasara lamang ang Rappler kapag pinagtibay na ng korte ang kanilang desisyon. And that's it, guys. Joseph Morong po, and that's a fact. For more videos, subscribe to GMA Online exclusives at youtube.com/GMA Network.